welcome back, everybody. And if it's your first time here, welcome into Watch This, where we're going to watch this. I'll tell you what I think along the way, and you can tell me what you think in the comments down below, and maybe, just maybe, we can have a conversation about it. Okay, I want to preface this real quick. I'm gonna upset people. I have opinions on this that probably aren't very common, especially for a person of color. But this title, I seen it. I watched a couple seconds. I'm like, whoa, we need to do a video about this. The title is called "It's Time Canada Apologizes for Slavery." Now, I don't agree with that. Says a Black history professor. Well, I'm going to tell you, I don't agree with that at all. I think if something was done in the past and the people that you were asking for had absolutely nothing to do with it, but you're asking them for an apology, I don't think you deserve to get one. I don't think they should even have to acknowledge that you are asking for an apology if they had nothing to do with it. I should not have to apologize for things I didn't do. Governments shouldn't have to apologize for things that happened 50, 60, 100, 2, whatever. They shouldn't have to. I'm sorry, even if they were shitty things, you shouldn't have to apologize for it if you didn't do it. And I think if we start doing that, we get running down a very slippery slope. And you know what happens when you get on a slippery slope, man? It's all downhill. It's not a good thing. On that note, we're going to watch this video. Let's roll the vid.
Let's just start first. What does Emancipation Day mean to you in your heart?
Personally,
all right, before she starts, why does it matter? This is news, isn't it? Why are we talking about what it means in someone's heart? The feelings of people. This is another problem we're running into a lot lately. It's more about our feelings than about facts. It's more about how I feel inside than whether or not it's something that has to do with what is really going on in life. All right, I'm sorry. I had to start off with that.
Means to me a day of celebration, a day of reflection, and a day of honoring my own ancestors. I'm originally from the island of Jamaica. I came from a background of enslavement, so it's a personal.
She comes from a background of enslavement. I think she said that a little wrong, which kind of bothers me as her being a history teacher. It sounds like she's saying she was enslaved and no longer is, but I'm pretty sure she means like her past or like her family in the past was enslaved. But the way she said it's a little weird. Let's see if she kind of breaks it down a bit more here.
Event for me, because so many of my ancestors were enslaved, and through their own efforts, they gained their freedom. Collectively.
Did she say through their own efforts? So, like, Black people were the only people that had anything to do with getting rid of slavery. Is that what she's saying? Because that sure sounds like what she's saying to me. And not anything, like that couldn't be any further from the truth. Right? I'm not here to say what's right or wrong, but I am here to say that the reason slavery in North America is gone has to do with as much with Black people as it does to do with the white people that help it go through. The white people that seen that this is fucking horrible and shouldn't be done. So to sit there and say that it's all because of the Black slaves, that's not true, and that's not a good way to look at it at all.
We honor the people, those ancestors and their descendants who fought for us all to have this freedom today.
And we should. That is amazing. We should definitely try to remember the people that have changed this world to make it better. For sure. I totally agree with that.
It's both a personal reflection and a collective reflection.
And would you like to see an apology by the federal government?
I definitely would like to see an apology by the federal government.
Did you just see that? I literally seen her say it and then roll her eyes up. Hang on, I gotta rewind this. I don't normally rewind stuff, but you gotta see this. This is a professor. Why is she rolling her eyes talking about stuff? Hang on. She did roll her eye. I know she did.
I would like to see an apology by the federal government.
Right there.
Enslavement of Africans.
Why is she rolling her eyes?
Canada, after the act was passed, the Abolition Act was passed, and people gained their legal freedom. But they did not gain social equality. What you had
Well, of course not. Listen, you can't expect Tuesday, slavery. Wednesday, free the slaves. Thursday, everyone's getting along like slavery never happened. These things take a long time. I mean, it sucks. I don't like it. I don't agree with the fact that it takes a long time for change to happen, but it does, right? So you can't just sit there and be like, oh, it took time for change to happen. I'm upset. Come on.
After emancipation, the act was passed, was a sort of reinscription of the old order, except that Black people were no longer in chains. So after emancipation, you had the color bar, you had segregation, you had Jim Crow-like living conditions.
And that is all horrible. That's terrible that that happened. But each thing that happened progressed things to a better state where we are now, which is way better than it ever was, right? And to sit there and be upset because it didn't happen instantaneously, to me, is ludicrous. It's crazy. It's insanity.
Black people endured. The apology has never happened. And on this 188th anniversary, I think it's high time that the federal government of Canada apologize to the Black people of Canada.
I disagree. Again, I might repeat this a couple times, but you should not have to apologize for something you never did. Period. Neither should a government. A government should not have to apologize today for something that happened 30, 40, 50, 60, 100, 200, 300 years ago. It shouldn't happen. It sucks that all that bad stuff happened, but what? So what now? Now Italians should be like asking for money because of the stuff that happened in Rome? The way that slaves were put into arenas and killed? Do you understand what I'm saying here? Slavery's been around for a very, very long time, and it's not a good thing. I'm not saying it is. But it always seems like people are talking that slavery was only white people. It was only the white people enslaving the whole world. That's not true. There was a lot of Black people enslaving other Black people. It happened for years. Look at the Egyptians. What do you think? They enslaved Black people, anyone they could get their hands on, their own people. They enslaved them as well. I'm not saying slavery is good. It's not. It's horrible. It's terrible. Okay? But to make it look like the only slavery that ever happened is white on black is insane, because slavery is still going on today. And I'll tell you right now, most of the slavery that's going on today, it's not from white people. Right? Sorry, went a bit of a rant.
For the enslavement that happened to their ancestors, not just the enslavement, but the racial discrimination and the segregation that followed the abolition of slavery.
I think a lot of people would probably be surprised to learn that the last segregated school in Canada, which was in Nova Scotia, closed in 1983. 1983.
Absolutely. That's just, yesterday, one
really
could say.
What? 83. That's like almost 40 years ago. So that was just yesterday. So just yesterday, I was a child. What are you talking? Why do they always do this? They take things and they try to make it look like it happened fucking yesterday when it didn't. Okay? And should the government today have to apologize for something that happened 40 years ago? When a lot of them in the government were probably like teenagers or children themselves? How does that make any sense to you? Why? Because it's going to make you feel better? Is that what you need? Like, what is this feelings? Say stuff to make me feel better. Sorry, I can't help it. It upsets me.
So think of the impact of that. So with these segregated spaces came the lack of economic opportunities, the lack of social advancement, because oftentimes many of these schools, though they were spaces of empowerment for Black children and the Black community as a whole, oftentimes they lacked vital resources that were needed to push the children further. And sometimes those children because of racial segregation, because of anti-Black racism, couldn't even make it to high school.
And that's horrible. That is a terrible thing. But why should we have to apologize? Why should the government have to apologize for that today when they had nothing to do with that? You get what I feel like I'm kicking a dead horse here, but I'm not the only one that's thinking this way, that feels this way, right?
And we know that education for marginalized people, in fact, education for everybody, is the key to social and economic advancement.
Oh, definitely. I 100% agree with that. It's just, what education? We can teach people whatever we want. It's just, are we teaching them the right things? Are we teaching them a skewed look at something to make us feel better about ourselves?
And Black people in this country, over the course of several centuries, 2 centuries of enslavement, have been denied these opportunities.
Well, first off, the people that get the opportunities were never enslaved, okay? And not just that, I'm pretty sure you haven't had to deal with too much. I mean, I'm not saying she hasn't dealt with racism. Hell, I grew up in a small town with dark skin. I dealt with a lot of racism when I was a kid. I got called a lot of names. I got beat down a lot because of the color of my skin, okay? But she's a professor. She's teaching. Obviously, the fact that these things happened, she's reaped the benefits of them, right? Along with me and a lot of other people that don't have to deal with the slavery that happened in the past, which is amazing. But why do we need an apology for something, again, that the people we're asking for apology from never had anything to do with?
And so it's high time we have this apology. We know that apology has been made to several ethnic groups in Canada, across Canada.
And I don't agree with that either. Listen, it is very shitty what happened to the First Nations people. It's kind of crappy, the stuff that still goes on with the First Nations people, okay? But I don't think this government has the responsibility, even though they have apologized, to apologize for something they never did. Apologies, they're words. Why not do something about it instead of just, oh, I'm sorry? I don't know. Y'all are probably hating me already, and that's fine. Comment, man. Straighten me out. If you've got the other side of that and you want to straighten me out, please do.
For the harm that was done to them in a variety of ways, and yet the federal government continues to balk when it comes to apologizing to the Black community.
What would the apology mean to you and to other generations as well here in Canada?
Whoa, how? First off, I don't get how she can ask the second part of the question. I don't know how this woman can answer the second part of the question, right? She can't say what it means to other generations. She can't, obviously, she's not representing how I feel about it. So how can she answer this question? About other people, I mean. Herself, of course. This reporter, too, I'm not big on her, man. Her questions are terrible.
It would mean a recognition of our status as Canadians. Are we subjects? Are we objects?
What do you mean, a recognition of status of Canadians? If you're a Canadian, you're a Canadian. You get all the rights and everything that go with. What is she talking about?
Are we citizens? Do we have
of course you are
kinds of citizen rights?
Of course you do. Obviously we do. You're a professor on the news talking about this. So obviously you have all the rights. You've made it through your life. You're an educator. You're on the news. How do you not have the rights of anybody else? Doesn't matter if you're Black, white, Asian, whatever. That's one of the things I do like about Canada is we all kind of get a fair shake at the stick, or with the stick, whatever you want to say.
Rights, rather, as other Canadians. Why this reluctance to apologize to Black people? And with not simply an apology, but to make that apology active in terms of having or giving a package. The package can be discussed.
A package? So this is where it's going. A package, right? So what? Like a care package, a gift package, some fruit and then crackers, cheese, a little bit of meat. What do you mean a package? I know what she means. She means money. Because at the end of the day, what's an apology without money?
But giving this package with apology, we don't want empty apologies. How is it?
We don't want an empty apology. We want an apology with a package. By package, I mean money.
Apology gonna be, made material. So some material.
Made material. A package. Made material. What is she talking about here? Is she talking about like some clothing, maybe a jacket, a patch, a gift basket, some fruit? Or is she talking about money? The second that stuff starts coming out, the whole apology thing to me, right out the window. The apology is nothing but more than a way to get money. For what? For something that never happened to you, so you can get money for that? Man, that rubs me the wrong way.
There has to be a material dimension to this apology. So it would mean a lot when we look at issues of criminal justice, some of the legacies of enslavement, issues of criminal justice, the seizure of Black children into child custody, the high dropout rate, the lack of economic advancement. We're looking for economic justice.
Economic justice, right? We want money. Give us money. That's what I'm hearing now. Am I the only one hearing that?
And I say this, knowing fully well and acknowledging that the Black community, through its own efforts over the course of these centuries,
through its own efforts, because it didn't have any help from anybody else. They did it all on their own with absolutely no help from anyone, right? Listen to this stuff, and this is a teacher. This bothers me a little bit.
Have resisted these degradations, have built communities, have educated their children. So, we are alive because of our own efforts. But at the same time,
they're alive only because of their own efforts. Nobody else helped at all. I hate the way she's saying this and making it sound like there was no one else there to help the Black people get out of it.
As the Black parents in across this country, in communities where they were segregated schooling, the Black parents said, we pay the school tax. Mm-hmm. We are taxpayers. Why are our children barred from the common schools and the public schools? So I'm saying the same thing today. We contribute to the economy in so many ways. We give of our intellectual capital, our physical capital. We give our brains, our talents, our labor.
Yeah, we do. And you know what? We get reimbursed for that. I'm pretty sure that when you go and you teach classes at a school or a university or wherever, you get paid for that. Right? Or do you don't get paid anymore?
And why are Black people still excluded in certain ways from the benefits of society?
What ways? It doesn't look like you were excluded at all. You seem to be doing fine. I seem to be doing fine. All my Black friends seem to be doing okay.
And this is where governments can play a huge role. Last year, the government recognized Emancipation Day as a national event. Fantastic. Mm-hmm. Now
Why do we need more than that? Why do you need an apology and money? Or a package, sorry.
See some action.
All right, well, I don't get it. Please, somebody let me know. Am I the asshole here? Am I the one? Maybe I am. I could very well be. I just don't think that you should have to apologize for something you didn't do. I'm not saying it was right. I'm not saying that it should have happened, because it shouldn't. Slavery is horrible. Right? It still goes on today, and it's horrible. The fact of the matter is, nobody should get an apology from somebody that didn't do it. Okay? And B, should get money because of something that never physically happened to them. Listen, bad shit happens to everyone all over the world at different levels of bad shit, okay? We can't just be like, apologize, please, government, and give me money, because that's insanity. Why don't we work together and move forward and build something amazing instead of whining about how you feel that you deserve money, because that's all I got from that. Anyways, I'm going to end this here. We got a little long, but I hope you watch it all the way to the end. If you did, thank you so much. Please share this, get other people out. Please comment, let me know what you're saying. Like, subscribe, thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't, and we'll catch you on the next one.